Hello students. Now today we are going to study the unit number 1, and this is the second lecture of unit number 2 in electrical machine 1. So in the previous lecture I told you about the basic concepts of electrical machine, and I also told you that the electrical machine is basically the main subject or basically the main part of electrical engineering. Two subjects are main. One is the power system, another one is the electrical machines. And electrical machines having two part, one and two. One is totally deals with the DC machine, and two is totally deal with the AC part. Direct current is the machine one, and alternating current machine is the part number two, or we can say second part. So in this semester, means third semester, we are going to study about the DC machines. And DC machine comprises basically into two parts. One is the rotating electrical machines, motor and generator, and another is the transformer, that is non-rotating. So rotating is motor and generator, and non-rotating is transformer. And transformer is divided into two parts, single phase and three phase, because we have two types of AC supply. One is the single phase, another one is the three phase. But DC we doesn't have any type, so DC machines are the only type. They basically categorize into their construction, depend on their construction, and types also depend on the types of connections and construction. And AC machines is divided into two parts, that is single phase or three phase. So transformer is also based on AC, because we give only AC to the transformer, we doesn't give any DC because it doesn't work on DC. So we give AC supply to the transformer, and that transformer basically transform one power from one circuit to another without changing its frequency. So in this electric machine we are going to study about the rotating machines. They are generator and motor, and non-rotating, that is transformer. So rotating machines are basically based on the electromechanical energy conversion. And electromechanical energy conversion basically two parts, having two parts, electro and mechanical. Electro means electrical, mechanical already tells you about this, that is a mechanical energy. So we can convert electrical into mechanical and mechanical into electrical. So we can say electromechanical energy conversion is there. So electromechanical energy conversion basically take part in two types of machine, generator and motor. Generator convert mechanical power into electrical power, and motor convert electrical power into mechanical power. If we want to lift something, we use motor there. Okay, we want to move something, we want to lift something, we have a need of motor. So there we use a motor, application of motor. And if we talk about generator, if we want supply, backup supply in our houses, in our residential load, domestic load, agriculture load, whatever it is, so we need a backup support. So for that backup support we having a generator. So DC generator works on DC, DC motor works on DC, but transformer is basically works on AC only. So all these three types of machines having the main part, that is coupling circuit. And that coupling circuit is basically what? Magnetic circuit. Because the basic laws, we can say the Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, Lenz law, hand rule, right hand, Fleming's right hand rule, Fleming's left hand rule, all these law, Biot-Savart law, the basic law tells you about that we can convert electrical into the magnetic, and then magnetic into mechanical. So we need a magnetic circuit, that is known as coupling circuit. So that is why the unit 1 is totally deals with the basic part, that is magnetic circuit, coupling circuit. And in magnetic circuit, we know if we want to convert into electrical to mechanical, so we having a electromagnetic interaction. Electromagnetic interaction tells you about that whenever there is a current carrying conductor plays in a magnetic field, whenever there is a current carrying conductor plays in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. So current carrying conductor, obviously electrical is there, we are applying force on it, then we can having a moving part. So we can say that through the magnetic field we can change electrical into mechanical and mechanical into electrical. So we need a coupling circuit, that is your magnetic circuit. Okay, so in the previous lecture I told you about the some basics of magnetic circuit. So we are continue this thing in this lecture and study more about the magnetic circuit. Now course objective, if I am talking about, so again the course objective is same. We have to understand about the principal operation of energy conversion, then DC motor, DC generator, transformer, different type of transformer, their construction, their working, their types in single phase, in three phase, because transformer work on AC supply. Okay, but if we're talking about the motor or generator, that is DC motor and DC generator. So DC motor and DC generator works on DC only, means DC supply. So DC generator gives you output in DC. DC motor takes in input in DC. Okay, because we can say the motor output will become the generator input, and generator output will become the motor input. Okay, so this is the course. Now the nature of magnetic field, as I earlier told you, that we having two parts, always we having a two poles, north and south poles. So if we having north and south, if we having two magnet, for example, north and south and north and south, so south and north attract each other and north and south attract each other. But if we having north south, then south north, means south south, north north, then they repel each other. Okay, so repulsion and attraction. So if force of attraction repulsion act between magnets and other magnetic material, that is known as magnetism or magnetic field, we can say also. But magnetism is represented by the force of attraction or repulsion that acts between magnets or other magnetic material. Now the flux lines is what? In previous lecture I told you about the flux line. Basically the direction shows here, the direction, this direction is, see the lines going through from north to south, then again south to north. So these are the lines and this represent the flux line, and direction is from north to south and south to north. If north to north, then repulsion, repel each other. If south to north, then attraction. Okay, now ferromagnetic material, so attracted by the magnet. So if we want to use ferromagnetic material, so we can say they attract by the magnets and provide an easy path for magnetic flux. They provide what? Easy path for the magnetic flux. So if basically if we also say that in another way, that metal are the good conductors, but they are good magnetic material also, we can convert into magnet easily them. But plastic and wood, we can't do it. So provide an easy path for magnetic flux, they provide a easy path. Iron, nickel, cobalt and their alloys. Non-magnetic material, if we talk about such as plastic, wood and glass, so we say that plastic is there, wood is there and glass is there, so there is no magnetic field in it. You will find no path for the magnetic flux, you will find in it. So we can say that they are non-magnetic material. But if the material having, they can produce, they can basically give you the easy path for magnetic flux, so we can say they are basically ferromagnetic materials. Now here electromagnetism. So in previous lecture I told you about the electromagnetism. So electromagnetism is just like, see here, it's totally it basically represented by the Biot-Savart. So in Biot-Savart law we having uh, for example, if we flow the current in a coil, so through this coil or through this current, we'll find a magnetic field surround that coil. Okay, why is it so? Because in coil we having a turns, and that turns represented by L, and that turns is basically we can say phi is proportional to I, or we can also say that phi is equals to phi is proportional to I, phi is equals to Li. So we can say that L represents the inductance, and L having the inductance means turns, that is turns. And in electrical field we can convert it to magnetic field. How? If we give supply to the coil, then current will flow. That current basically in the revolving nature. Okay, if it is alternating, so turns are there of the coil, that is N, and current is I. So if we multiply these two and I, that will become ampere turn. Ampere turn, that ampere turn is represented mmf, that is magnetomotive force. So EMF converted into the current, because EMF is electromotive force, that is the force which basically moves the charges from one direction to another direction. So that direction, that EMF will give you the current, and that current will introduce a what? Will introduce a ampere turn. So ampere turn convert into what? MMF, and that MMF convert into the flux. So that is the basic theory. So we can say that we having a electromagnetism. That is why it is known as electromagnetism, electrical field and magnetic field. Okay, so through electrical field we are getting magnetic field. So many applications of magnetism involve magnetic effects due to electric current. So see here in this diagram, what it basically what we are going to understand is, now here this is a coil and we are giving or we are flowing the current I. surround that. These directions shows by the flux line, means flux. So current converted into the flux, we can say. So electrical field converted into the magnetic field, that is electromagnetism. Now direction of magnetic field may be determined by the right hand rule. How can we identify this? Through right hand rule. See, current is there, and these curl of fingers will show you the what? It show you the magnetic field. So place your right hand around the conductor with your thumb in the direction of the current. Show here, this is your current direction, thumb, and curl fingers, your finger will point in the direction of magnetic field, that is electromagnetism. Okay, understand? Now move forward. We are having magnetic flux and flux density. So in, yes, in previous class, the magnetic flux and flux density are the we can say the important part or main parts of the magnetic field, because if we don't know about the magnetic flux and flux density, so we can't able to calculate their values, and we can't say that the current is converted into flux, or how can we say that the flux is basically proportional to the current. So through this flux or flux density, we can understand that how electrical field relate to the magnetic field. Okay, so flux phi is total number of lines. As I earlier told you, in a magnet, for example, in a magnet we having two poles, north south, south north. Always we having a two poles. If we cut a magnet into two parts, you always found two poles there. So there is a dipole, or we can say bipole, not single pole. In a magnet, you always found two poles, north south, south north, north south, south north, always. If you cut into the small pieces, for example, a big bar you have, okay, now you are cutting into four pieces. Always you found two poles in these four pieces. Means one pieces represent north south, again second piece represent north south, third piece of that bar again represent north south, and fourth piece again represent north south. So we can say that it having the bipole. So later on I tell you about this whole thing. Now here, flux. First of all, if we give current in a coil, that current convert into ampere turn, that is N into I, ampere turn. That ampere turn will represent the magnetomotive force. Through this magnetomotive force and the reluctance of that material, converted that mmf into the flux. Okay, so flux density. So we can say the lines which representing here, that is flux. Okay, now flux density is what? Phi by A. Pi is basically the flux line, or we can the flux, and area is the A is the area. So number of lines per unit area, we can say number of flux line per unit area is known as flux density. Is known as what? Flux density. And the unit of this flux density is Weber, and units of for the flux are Webers. If units are there, if I am talking about the unit, we can say Weber only. If more than one line, we can say Webers. Okay, so area is measured in square meters. Unit for flux density, we can also say that Weber per meter square. As per the unit thing, we can say the theory of unit. Here we having the flux, so flux represented by the Weber, and area represented by the what? It is represented by the square meters, meter square, length into breadth, m into m. So we can say m square. So what we can say, Weber per meter square, or also called as Tesla. Okay, or Teslas. So 1 Tesla is equals to 10,000 Gauss. Okay, so here B is equals to 5 upon 8 Teslas. B also be measured in Gauss. As I earlier told you in the previous lecture, we can also represent 1 Tesla is equals to 1000 Gauss. If anyone want to tell you that now the we having a flux density is 5 Tesla, now convert into Gauss. So we can say 5 into 10,000, so 50,000 Gauss. But always we work on Teslas. Okay, so in this diagram, what I want to show you, or what I want to tell you basically, see, in this piece is there, a cut piece or iron piece is there. One thing is there, in this we having the area that is represented by A, and these lines represented by the flux, that is phi. So the ratio of these flux lines in the area, or we can say number of lines per unit area, means how many lines we having in that unit area, we can represent as a flux density, and it is represented by phi by A, and we can also say that the unit is Tesla. And if we want to convert it to Gauss, then it is 10,000 Gauss. Understand? I hope you understand about this flux density. It is very important. Why it is important? Because if we don't know about the magnetic field, though, we can't able to convert electrical to mechanical. Because I earlier told you that the if I want to convert electrical power into mechanical or mechanical into electrical, so electrical to mechanical, we know what we use. Electrical to mechanical, am represent mechanical and am represent motor. So motor, if we want to convert electrical to mechanical, we need a motor. Why we need a motor? Because we want to lift something. Lift something means, for example, in our house we having a water lifting motor, also known as monoblock, a small motor, which is fitted on the path, not under the water. If we are using a motor under the water, we say that it is a submersible. So submersible motor is there. But if we use a outer motor, that is monoblock, so that motor is also known as water lifting motor, M. And second one, if we want to convert mechanical into electrical, means we are generating something, we are converting something. So generating something, we use generator. So electrical to mechanical motor and mechanical to electrical generator. Understand? So for these two, we need a circuit, we need a assembly, we need a system. Okay, we need a we can say a system that convert these all, means electrical to mechanical and mechanical to electrical. So for these conversion electrical to mechanical, we need a circuit, that is whole coupling circuit, that is your magnetic field. And in magnetic field, it represented by the flux density and lines. So it is very important. Okay, that is electrical to mechanical. And if you want to convert mechanical to electrical, then again we need what? We need this, because Faraday's law tells you about this thing. Faraday law tells you about this whole thing. So we need what? We need a coupling circuit, and that coupling circuit is a basically magnetic circuit. Understand? And this magnetic circuit is represented by here, that we having a circuit here, and in this circuit we having what? We having basically the area flux, and this is the we can say the whole area represented by the here, and these are the lines. So flux lines in a per unit area, we can say that it is a flux density. So student, this is the important part. So you have to remember this, or you have to understand this. If you understand this, then you always remember this. My theory is this says. In my theory, if you understand one thing, if you understand, okay, not learn, understand. Understand, always remember. But learn, not always remember, you can forget. So try to understand. Now move forward. Now applications of magnetic circuit. So this we can say this is a new thing we are going to study today. Application of magnetic circuit, we can say practical application. If I am talking about the practical application, as I earlier told you, the magnetic circuit is a coupling circuit, or it is a important part in a machine, rotating machine, whether it is generator or motor. So we need a coupling. Coupling is basically the magnetic circuit. So for coupling, we need a magnetic circuit. So magnetic circuit is there. So what are their applications? So applications are practical applications. Use structure to guide and shape magnetic flux. Practical application. See, if I want to fill the water in a glass, that glass is be in the shape of oval, circle, whatever it is, which type of glass you are using, which type of bucket you are using. So water takes the shape of their thing. So we need what? We need a structure to guide and shape the magnetic flux. If I am using a square, we can say square circuit. If I am using a rectangular circuit, if I'm using a rectangular path, if I'm using a circular path, if I'm using a spherical, if I'm using a square path, so it takes the shape of that. So this line tells you use structures to guide and shape magnetic flux. First thing called magnetic circuits. As I earlier told you, we need a coupling circuit, that is magnetic circuit. But magnetic circuit happens Basically, how can we make magnetic circuit? Magnetic circuit we can make with the help of their shape, which type of shape we have. Okay, now magnetic circuit guides flux to an air gap. So magnetic circuit basically guides the flux to an air gap. See, if air gap is more, then reluctance is more. If air gap is more, then reluctance is more, and reluctance is more, so reluctance is basically inversely proportional to the flux. So later on I'll tell you what is reluctance, but in basic, because this magnetic circuit we have already studied in the previous classes, so magnetic flux is basically inversely proportional to the reluctance, just as we can say similar to the current. We know in the electrical field current is inversely proportional to the resistance. If resistance is there, then current is less. If resistance is more, current is less. If resistance is lesser, then current is more. So same thing happens in this magnetic field. In this magnetic field, what happens basically, if reluctance is less, then flux generation or creation is more. If reluctance is more, then flux generation or creation is less. So we basically, that magnetic circuit guides the flux to an air gap. The meaning of that line or that statement is basically is what, that the structure or the circuit which we make, basically which we are going to make or which we have to make in this manner, that they guide or they basically push or move the flux into the air gap. If circuit is like that, that air gap is minimum, then flux is maximum. If air gap is maximum, then flux is minimum. Okay, now here this provide field for the voice call, for this magnetic, or we can say for the application in we can say for voice call. Playback head on tape recorders, VCR, video cassette recorders, they use in the previous manner. Nowadays we are using DVD, or we can say not DVD, we are using pen drive system. Nowadays we are using what? Pen drive. Okay, USB we use in universal serial bus, we push it in, so we having a storage system. But in the previous time we use VCRs, video cassette recorder. So in that VCRs we having this whole thing. This drive pick up the varying magnetic field and convert into the voltage like this. See here. Okay, so here we having a sound waves, amplifier, tape, then this is the magnet, and that is which type of magnet? That is electromagnet. Why electromagnet? Because we are creating magnet with the help of electrical current or electrical field. That is what is known as electromagnet. In a coil we are giving a current. As per the Biot-Savart law, we find a magnetic field surround them, so we can say that we having a current. So that is the record head. Tape, we also say that in cassettes we having a tape in behind that, so that tape read by this thing, and that is record head. Okay, now moving forward, here it is air gaps, fingering and laminated cores. Now one thing is there, that magnetic circuits have air gap essential to their operation. Now if we having a magnetic gap, or we can say air gap, we can do work easily. Why is it so? See, in motor or in generator we having a rotating part. We want to rotate something. That is why we can say that the motor converting electrical into mechanical, and generator is used to convert mechanical into electrical. So mechanical is rotation, electrical is current or voltage or power, okay, or energy, what we can say. So we are converting rotating part into electrical part, and we are converting electrical part into rotating part. Means we are converting voltage into torque or torque into voltage. So we need a rotation. We having a rotation. So that rotation, we need some air gap. If gap is not there, then friction will occur. So magnetic circuit have air gaps essential to their operation. For their operation, we need them. We having this thing. Okay. So increase each cross sectional dimension of air gap by the size of the gap. So through that, we can say that we can increase the gap. Now, what happens? What is this air gap, fringing and laminated cores? Now fringing is there. What? See, in this two parts are there. One, we can say this is north pole, this is south pole, we can say, and we can say it is mutual basically coupling. But see, In the end we having this curl system, so that is the fingering. We are not getting in the equal manner, we are not getting the flux in the equal size or equal manner or equal way. We having some distortion in it. Distortion we can say, we having some whatever we can say, that we having some losses there in magnetic field, or we can say in motor generator we having losses, core losses known as core losses. And that core losses having two parts: eddy current and hysteresis. Eddy current is basically depend on the leakage current, and that leakage current tells you that the whole flux doesn't move from one body to another. Because we want to transfer from one part to another part. But if they are transferring from one part to another part, then another part, in another part, the flux moves to their body also, instead of the working component. For example, we having a two iron pieces, one and two. Second iron piece, the work will be on the coil, but the flux not passes over the whole area of coil. It passes through the some area of that iron piece, means on the body of that iron piece. That is fingering, or we can say that is the leakage current, that is known as eddy current loss. So what we are going to do, we having some laminations, we produce some laminations. Why we are making laminations? Because if we make laminations there, then leakage will be less and leakage current will be less. So we can say, if we want to control or eliminate or reduce the eddy current value, so we need laminations. Laminations is basically layer to layer to layer to layer, means one layer, two layer, three layer, four layer, layer upon layer upon layer upon layers, we can say this. We also heard about this lamination for in the photo frame, that we laminated our photo. Okay, so these are the laminations. So through this lamination we can reduce this fingering, and fingering means we are reducing the eddy current loss. Okay, understand? Now move forward. Now series element and parallel elements. Now series element, we can say the series magnetic field, and parallel elements we can also say the parallel magnetic field. Series magnetic field and parallel magnetic field. Now this series element I am telling you in this unit and in this my lecture, but later on the unit number, we can say 4, transformer, you can also understand this thing. Because in transformer we having two types of construction. One is the core, another one is the shell. Core and shell. This shows you the core construction, this shows you the shell construction. So here the series and parallel, two things are there. As we all know, in electrical circuit we having two types of circuit: series circuit and parallel circuit. So if I'm talking about the electrical, first we talk about the electrical. In electrical, what happens in series? What happens in series? What happens? Current remains same, voltage changes. Current remains same, but voltage changes. But in if I'm talking about the parallel electrical field, what happens? Current changes, but voltage remain same. Okay, current divides, but voltage remains same. But in in series field, voltage divided, but current remain same. So these two things are there in the electrical series circuit or magnetic circuit. Now come to this point, that is series. We can say series element, or we can say series magnetic field and parallel magnetic field. Elements are used. I am using here for the uh, magnetic circuit or coupling circuit. So magnetic circuit maybe have sections of different materials: cast iron, steel, sheet steel, and air gap. Okay, so as I earlier told you, that if you want to make a magnetic field or magnetic core, then we need what? We need what? We need a core, and that core is made up of magnetic ferromagnetic material: cast iron, cobalt, nickel, alloy. So cast iron is used for the basic thing. From the ancient time, we are using cast iron because cast iron is very helpful to give you the magnetic core. To acts as a magnetic core means give a path to flow, or we can say move the magnetic flux. So that is cast iron. But for the higher application, or we can say higher load, we are using alloys. That is sheet steel, or we can say sheet of steel made up of steel or silicon contained steel, that is alloy. And air gap, we need a air gap. So for this circuit, flux is same in all direction. Flux is same in the all direction. We can say, if I'm talking about the series magnetic circuit. So in series magnetic circuit, see, some analogy between electrical and magnetic is this, that in electrical field, in the previous lecture, I also told you about this thing, that in electrical field, we always try to say that EMF, electromotive force, okay, electromotive force. Then we also say that voltage, potential difference, current, resistance, impedance, power, energy. But if I'm talking about the magnetic field, what we can say? First of all, MMF, magnetomotive force, that is ampere turn. Then we having a flux line. Okay. Then flux density, flux intensity, reluctance. So these all thing in this magnetic field. So we can, and we having an analogy between electrical and magnetic field. So in magnetic field, if we can say flux is same in all direction, means see here, if I am generating a flux here, if I am inducing a flux here, why I am inducing? Current is flowing, turns are there, it is made up of cast iron Ni, that is ampere turn, reluctance in the area, flux is there. So flux move like this. So same flux will be there. So if flux is the same in all sections or all direction or all pole section, then it is known as series magnetic circuit. It is what? It is known as series magnetic circuit. Understand? Hope you understand about this thing. Then we are having a parallel magnetic circuit. Now, if I am talking about the parallel magnetic circuit, so in this parallel magnetic circuit, see here, one flux is moving here, then second flux going there, third flux is going there. So we can say the flux is changing, not same flux. Flux having different value. We can say in this section we having phi 2, for this section we having phi 3, and main flux is phi 1. Similar to your parallel electrical circuit. In the parallel electrical circuit, I is the current, but divide if two branches are there, so current divided into two parts, I1 and I2. So similar to that one, here flux phi 1 is same compared to I, and divided into two parts, phi 2 and phi 3. Okay, but in this series, it's remain same. Understand about series or magnetic field? So in a simple way, what we can say that that flux have the same value in all the direction in all the sections. So we can say that it is series. But flux having the different value in all the directions or all the sections, then it is parallel. Okay, now move forward. Magnetic circuits with DC excitation. Now, if I want to produce the excitation, or if I want to give the excitation with DC, for example, we are giving DC current, that is direct current, and we want to convert into magnetic circuit, means magnetic circuit with DC excitation. So two basic problems are there. First one is determine current required to produce a given flux. First of all, we need a current, because we know if I am applying a current, that convert into magnetic field. So how much current and what value the current we have to do, we have to require, or we have a need of that value of current to produce a given flux, means phi is proportional to I am saying this thing. Okay, now I want to generate 10 basically Weber flux. So 10 Weber flux, we need 10 or 11 ampere current. But in DC, we doesn't have this type of value, because DC nowadays we are not using DC so much, we are using AC. And if we want to use DC, we want to convert AC into DC with the help of rectifier. Okay, so if we need a DC, so in a large amount of DC we need, so there is some problem. There will be some problem with that. First problem is current required to produce a given flux, means given value means, for example, 10 Weber, so we need a 10 ampere flux. So how can we generate, or how can we take 10 ampere from the source? First thing. Then compute flux produced by a given current. Now current is there, how can we compute it? Similar to this thing. Next is MMF is what? What is MMF? The source of magnetic flux. As I earlier told you, in a coil, if we give a current, that convert into ampere turn, because current flows in the turn. So N into I, that is ampere turn. That ampere turn and the reluctance present in that circuit gives you the, or basically generates you for you, induce for you, that is flux. So what we can say, the MMF is the source of magnetic flux. Okay. Now current through a coil create magnetic flux. But before creating the magnetic flux, it's generating the MMF. It's generating what? MMF. That MMF convert into the magnetic flux. The greater the current or number of turns, the greater the flux. For example, phi is proportional to I. I told you earlier. If phi is proportional to I, means I is greater, then phi is greater. Phi is proportional to I, na? We can say that phi is proportional to I. So if phi having the higher value, then I is also having the higher value. So I increasing, phi increasing, I decreasing, phi decreasing, phi increasing, I increasing, phi decreasing, I increasing. We can say in the both ways. Okay. Now the greater the current of or number of the turns, the greater the flux. Okay. Now what is magnetomotive force? Is basically denoted by the symbol F, that is F, ampere turn, and it is Ni, ampere turns. What is it? It is basically the ampere turn. Understand about this thing? That is ampere turn. Okay. So ampere turn is there. Here it is written here. See, n is turns in the coil, or the turns present in the coil, whatever it is, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, and I is, for example, 4 ampere. So 4 into 4, 16. So 16 is your ampere turn, and that is your MMF. Okay, I'm taking an example. Now next, reluctance. So if I'm talking about the reluctance, so reluctance is just similar to like your resistance in electrical field. Resistance in the electrical field. Okay, so resistance in the electrical field. Now what is it? It is basically opposition to the magnetic flux. Or we can say that in a simple way, or in a simple theory, we can also say this, that the property of magnetic material which opposes the creation of flux. What is it? It is the property of magnetic material which opposes the creation of flux. Means just like your resistance. Resistance is a property of conductor which opposes the flow of charges. Resistance basically resists the flow of charges in electrical field. But similar to that one, in magnetic field we having reluctance. Reluctance is a property of magnetic material which opposes the creation of flux. Which basically what reluctance is doing is basically providing a interruption in the creation of flux, or disturbance in the generation of flux. Okay, so here opposition that circuit presents to flux, we can also represent by S or R. We can also say that is R, represented by R. L by mu A, that is ampere turn per Weber. That is ampere turn per Weber. Mu is basically the material permeability. Matter permeability. Permeability, we can say in electrical field we having conductivity. We having what? Conductivity. How the conductor basically capable to conduct or generate or pass the electrical current. Electrical current means charges. So similar to that one, the matter permeability is measure of ease of establishing magnetic flux in a material. Now permeability basically measure ease, how much flux will generate in that magnetic field, and in how much quantity we can generate. Okay, and we can't able to generate, or we can able to generate. So can't able will become the non-magnetic material, but able to generate means magnetic material. So how much or measure is represented by this permeability, that represented by mu. Okay, now ferromagnetic material have high permeability. Obviously they having the high permeability, that is why we can able to generate or create or induce or make flux in that field. But if I am talking about the non-magnetic material, for example, plastic, wooden, whatever, have low permeability. Obviously, they have low permeability. Why they have low permeability? Because they can't able to generate, they can't able to induce, they can't able to make, and we can't able to produce from their side. Okay. Now here, Ohm's law for magnetic circuit. If I am talking about the simple Ohm's law, here it is a what? Here it is a similar to your electrical circuit. In electrical circuit we use EMF there. We use what? EMF. But in magnetic field In magnetic circuit, we use mmf, that is represented by f, mmf there. Then flux. In the electrical field, we having a current in this side, but here we having the flux lines. Okay. Now, if I'm talking about the electrical field, this is represented by the resistor or resistance in electrical field. But in this magnetic field, it is represented by R, that represent reluctance. So, and I earlier told you the reluctance is similar to the or what? Similar to your resistance in the electrical field. So this circuit is basically showing you about the analogy between electrical and magnetic circuit. Okay, understand or not? Now, we can also say that I is equals to EMF by resistance in electrical field. But here we can say that phi is equals to MMF by reluctance in waiver. Understand? I hope you understand this about this MMF and all this thing. So it is similar to your electrical field. So in electrical field, we can write again I is equals to V upon R, or we can say I is equals to EMF upon R. But in magnetic field, we can say phi is equals to mmf by R, that is reluctance, S or R. Next is magnetic field intensity, that is H. Magnetic field intensity H, also called magnetizing force. So this is the force through which we can generate the magnetic field of flux. So we can say that it is known as intensity, how intense the flux is in the core. Okay, and how dense comes in the density, and how intense come in the intensity, that is H, represented by H. And this is also called magnetizing force. If force is not there, then we can't able to move the flux, we can't able to generate the flux. Okay, so measures mmf per unit length of a circuit. We can also write like this: mmf by L. L is length. L is what? Length. And mmf is also known as ampere ton, so Ni. And their unit is 80. Their unit is ampere ton, so we can say that ampere ton is what? 80. So 80 per meter. Length is per meter and 80 is ampere ton. So ampere ton per meter, that is represented by H. Okay, intensity. And we can also say that if you want to basically calculate the value of Ni, that is ampere ton, is equals to HL through this equation. So in this equation, we having H is equals to F upon L. F is what? mmf. mmf means ampere ton, and L is length. So length means length we always count in meter. So here we having 80 per 80 by m, ampere ton per meter. Understand about this thing? Ampere ton per meter, that is intensity, magnetic field intensity. So magnetic field intensity, flux, Ohm's law, that is reluctance, flux density, magnetic circuit of series and parallel. I'm revising again this whole thing for you. Here we having the air gaps, laminated cores, series and parallel. Means main thing is mmf. After mmf, we having flux. If flux is there, then we having a flux density. If we want to generate flux, we need an intensity, that is H. Reluctance also playing an important role. If reluctance is there, we can easily convert the ampere ton into the ampere ton divided by reluctance is equals to your flux. Okay, so these are the basic things in the magnetic field, and these are the some problems with DC excitation. Okay, that is magnetomotive force, that is mmf, ampere turns. Then we having the reluctance, opposition to magnetic flux, or what we can say, the property of magnetic material which always opposite, or we can say always resist the flux generation, flux creation, flux production, we can say. Okay, and it's totally depend on the permeability. Later on we will also study about the permeability, relative permeability, free space permeability, because permeability is the measure how much flux we can generate in the magnetic field, or measure. So it is very important part. Okay, next is your this circuit representing the analogy between electrical and magnetic field. Then we having some magnetic field intensity represented by H. Now related to this, we having some MCQs for you. Just go through it, just read it and do it. Try to do it. How can we do it? Some MCQs are there. These MCQs basically depend on the magnetic field. Magnetic field intensity, magnetic field density, MMF, reluctance, induced EMF. Because EMF through after the EMF is there, induced EMF is there. What happens after EMF? We having charges movement. That charges movement known as current, and that current is basically is what is I. But similar to that one, in magnetic field we having current flowing in a coil. Okay, and that coil having a turns. That turns is ampere, and turns ampere turn, AT. That AT represents you what? MMF, magnetomotive force. And if reluctance is there, if what reluctance is there, in that case, that reluctance and MMF ratio of them convert into what? Flux. Understand or not? And flux by area represent you the flux density. Okay, ampere turn per meter. Reluctance, reluctance is what? Is basically the L by mu A. Okay, length by mu, permeability into area. And if I'm talking about the simple flux intensity, or because say flux density is B, and H represent the intensity, so intensity is basically the magnetizing force. Okay, so depend on these all. These are the some multiple choice questions for you. Just go through it. Some choices are there. These are the more questions. Okay, so these are the questions for you regarding the this topic, related to the topic, that is your we can say magnetic circuit. So this is about the today's lecture. If you have any query, you can ask me. I hope you understand all these things. Thank you.